Welcome to Can I Park Here? Brought to you by FindAFashionTruck.com. Nashay and Estrell's mission is to inspire future and existing small business owners. They don't claim to be experts. They're simply trying to figure this all out, just like you.
Welcome to Can I Park Here? I'm your co-host, Nashay Snow, and I'm here with
Estrell Riles.
Today, we'll be talking to Jason Caston. He wrote the iChurch Method, and also he runs Caston Digital.
Yeah, I happen to have the pleasure of knowing Jason Caston personally. We went to school together years ago at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. He's a very talented guy. He currently works full-time at the TD Jakes Ministry in Frisco, Texas, as a digital platform specialist.
Yeah, and he gives a lot of great tips, lots of just inspiration, motivation. So we really think you're going to enjoy this episode.
In addition to all of the things that he does, he teaches how to advance your ministry online with the iChurch Method. And he's also positioned himself to be able to bring in multiple streams of income. So he gives great tips on how to build your brand and be a success and how to grow your own business.
And we know our audience isn't ministries, but it's still good at practical advice, how to deal with social media, how to have multiple streams of revenue. So even though his focus is on ministries, the core of his message will work for any business.
Right. Building a business is building a business.
Yeah. So let's get to it.
Here we go.
Okay, we're going to start off the interview with just you telling us the story behind your business and your brand. Who is Jason? How did you get started?
Okay, let's step back. The way I got started was back in 2000 and I don't know, we'll say 3 or 4. Really started establishing myself when I got laid off. And the reason I start with that is because I figured I started off with the same mentality that a lot of people thought about. Go to school, then go get a job and work the nice job and everything will just turn out right. And then I got laid off because I was overproductive and cost the company too much. So once I got that happen to me and I really kind of didn't understand I didn't do anything wrong, why was I laid off? I realized that the game is not played the way we think it is. Corporate America is not played the way we think it is. None of the rules are what we think it is. So I had to, instead of climbing the corporate ladder, I had to go build my own ladder. And so I had to figure out how to rebuild myself to become something more than just a corporate drone, another key player off the movie Office Space to make another widget and so on. And what I did was, first thing I did was I started reading a whole bunch, basically rebuilding myself and trying to figure out what type of person I wanted to be. So I started with books like 21 Laws of Leadership, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and just certain books that really gave me a whole new mindset as far as how to approach how I was going to do anything in the future. I had the skills from going to college and I was good at building websites and had that type of expertise, but I didn't have the idea of how to play this game on a level of, here's my resume, please hire me, and hopefully I can work for you until I retire and go broke off of Social Security and fall into obscurity. So once I figured that part out, I started to realize that in order to establish myself and become the Jason that you see now, that is not, this was a journey, and I'm still on the journey, but you guys are seeing this fast forwarded quite a few years. I basically realized that I wanted to do quite a few things. I wanted to teach, write books, still do the technical stuff, and I wanted to speak for a living and get paid to speak, basically. And so I had to, as I saw that as my long game, so to speak, for like 5-10 years out, and I saw this years ago, then I started building myself into that. And that's pretty much as I saw what I wanted to become, I started putting all those pieces together, and that's what you see today. I mean, and I'm pretty much putting that in a nutshell, but I'm a basically 10, 12 year overnight success, as they call it.
Right.
Can you kind of dive into the difference between the iChurch method and Casting Digital?
Oh, cool. Yeah. So let me explain that and then really kind of fulfill more of the last question you asked as far as who I am and what I do. Mm-hmm. So right now, here's a typical week for me, and you can get an idea of what I do, and we go into more who I am. What I do is I'm a digital team platform specialist, team lead at a major nonprofit organization called the TD Jakes Ministries. And a lot of people know TD Jakes, so they immediately think church type stuff. But if you watch this guy for any amount of time, yes, great preacher, all that good stuff, but also speaker, author, does movies, has a whole bunch of businesses. There's a whole bunch of aspects to working with this guy. So I'm the digital team lead. So I work on the digital stuff you see that most of us connect with them, whether it be social media, websites, mobile apps, internet TV, all the new tech stuff. I help develop that for the organization. Also, in a given week, I work with probably 3 or 4 other high profile churches or ministers that you may know of that you see that I'm just a consultant with or something like that. Also, I may go out and speak at different conferences or locations or organizations and about the book, The iChurch Method. The iChurch Method is a book series of books I wrote about how to advance your organization online using these digital platforms that I talk about. And I started with the church arena because working for TD Jakes, I was exposed to a lot of churches who initially started saying, hey, I don't have the budget that a TD Jakes Ministries has, but how can I get the results? And so I wrote a book that started to talk about how to achieve those results and the fact that we were doing it for a fraction of the cost that people thought we were doing it for. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we were doing a lot of stuff for free. So as I started to, once I wrote the book and that established me as a expert, I guess, in what I do, then I developed Casting Digital, which is the actual organization that people write checks to for my services. And that's kind of the umbrella organization of everything. So in addition to the iChurch Method, where I focus on helping churches advance online, then I have my other books and my other organization called 10 Connections, which is where I write stuff like the social media book I wrote called Social Connections, or the mobile book I wrote called Mobile Connections, where I talk about how to stay connected in the social media space and the mobile space. And those are just different areas where I consult, whether it be churches, nonprofits, corporations, etc. And so in the midst of all that, working probably for 4 or 5 organizations during the week and writing books, then also I'm a professor and I teach online.
Oh, wow. How do you have time to do all of that?
Right.
Now, my answer will be vastly different than what my wife would give y'all an answer to that. But I'm extremely disciplined, and not disciplined like regimented where I'm strict and stern, because Estrell knows me and has known me for probably about, I don't know, I want to say 20 years, but I don't want to date us. So it's been a long time. But, I'm a very outgoing guy, so I have a lot of fun. But when it comes time to get work done, I have a disciplined schedule. I'm task orientated. So when I get up in the morning, I have a list of about 10 or 12 tasks that I'm supposed to complete for that day. And they can range from working from 1 to 4 organizations to write a chapter or article for a book, develop a lesson for whatever class I'm teaching. So because I have so many different tasks, to me, it's just getting through a task list for the day. I live to get through the end of the day. By the end of the week, I can look back and say, wow, I completed 50, 60 things. And you see that, you have half a book done. You taught a class. All the organizations you work with are great. So they're actually cutting the checks to maintain your quality of living. I tuck my kids in and stuff like that, so they still think I'm super dad, and I actually spent time with my wife, so she's not taking me to divorce court. So right. It's quite a bit. And then, of course, I still like to play basketball, and I play, my Xbox, my Grand Theft Auto. I'm an Apple, fanatic, so everything new, I'm trying to get that. So everything is just about, I'm real disciplined with my time, and, I have fun, but I work hard just as well.
Now, I'm curious, How long did it take you before you became successful, or what you would consider successful, like where you were able to pay your bills with this business?
I think, I never considered myself successful. My sister had to tell me that I was successful. So I still don't think I am, because I still see places for improvement. And I don't know what successful necessarily means. For me, there's always more that can be achieved and done. So I'm thinking I'm always chasing success. But maybe that's just motivation to keep me going. But I really kind of thought about seeing myself as successful when I look back. I have this book called Where Will You Be 5 Years From Now? In 2010, I wrote in it. And let me see, who's the book by, so I could tell your listeners so they could check it out. The book is by, he doesn't have his name on it. Okay, so it's called Where Will You Be 5 Years From Today? And in the book, I wrote down goals of where I wanted to be from 5 years from 2010. So I went back in this year and looked at the book. And one of the key things I said I wanted to do was I wanted to take my business and I wanted to make more money in my business than I was making in my 9-to-5. And as of 2013, late 2013, I exceeded my the income I had at my company, or my 9-to-5. And then as of this year, I exceeded it significantly. So looking at that, I believe that you're successful when you start to see goals that you set come to fruition. And for me, I was a part of a group of people this year who wrote a book called Be Prolific. And we were talking about how to do success differently in 2015. And one of the key things we said was set goals and celebrate often. And so the reason I was able to even notice that I had achieved one of my goals, or level of success, so to speak, was that I started to look back at the goals that I set and saw where was I at along the path. And I even saw that some of them I was further along than I wanted to be, but hadn't reached them yet. And some of the goals I had surpassed. So in essence, I had started to become the person that I prayed for years ago. And that's what I considered success.
Yeah, that's great, because I only asked that question because the majority of our listeners are probably fashion boutique owners or wannabe fashion boutique owners. Most of them have 9-to-5 jobs, but they're working towards being able to support themselves with only the fashion truck and maybe opening a brick and mortar store later. But I just wanted them to kind of just hear that journey so they know, like, with hard work, then they will be able to achieve that success. It's not overnight, but if you just continue to work hard, it'll happen.
But
absolutely.
Even with us, Nashay, I think those are great words to live by, because we struggle with that every day, trying to, figure out when we are going to become a success and when are we going to start, turning a profit and this and that. And it's so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Just that pressure and the waiting, I don't know.
Well, that's the hard part. See, that's the key thing. The waiting, the patience that it takes to become to where you can look back and say, I'm somewhat successful, or even success. It's hard for us to say we're successful because we're not taught to be, you don't know if it's being braggadocious or are you humbly acknowledging that you've accomplished the goals you set out to accomplish. But the thing is, this journey, the only way that the patience can be something that you're able to deal with is you have to celebrate the small accomplishments. So for me, the way I was able to do it, and for your a lot of the business owners that are listening to your podcast you're talking about here, the way I was able to do it was as I started to step out. See, here's the thing. I was hired to be a web developer at the organization I work for. Okay. Mm-hmm. I could have went to work every day and just been a web guy, and I'd be great at it, but I wouldn't have multiple streams of income or anything else or outside business that started to take me to another level. So with your listeners, you got to look at how can you innovate what you do? How can you be set apart from just being a normal business owner and having a normal product so that people will take time out their life to take the money they've went and worked for and come patronize your business. So for me, in my particular field, I had to look at what can I take from being just a regular web guy and turn that into something even greater. So here are some keys that your listeners can use. First thing I did was I wrote a book. The reason I wrote a book is because I had to establish myself as not just someone who could roll up my sleeves and code and do all that stuff, but I had to show them that I could teach it. And I have a book that shows I know what I'm talking about. And that's one of the key things that really started me on this path of becoming who I am. Once that book really got out, then I started going out and talking and speaking about whether it be the actual technical stuff that I do, whether it was social media, because that got really big, whether it was how to write a book, becoming an author. It's so many different things that I started to talk about that turned into different streams of income, whether it be speaking, people buying other products that I've created, whether it be books or videos and so on. I had to start creating these different streams, but I had to think, how can I innovate and expand and evolve my position into something more than just coming in and doing what everybody else does who would be in this position?
Now, how were you able to grow your audience when you first started? You know, in order to get the web traffic to your website, in order to get people to Amazon and purchase your book, like, do you have any tactics for people who are just starting their journey, like things they can do to get noticed?
Oh, absolutely. The first thing I did, number one thing I did was, before I had a book or anything, the first step on this journey was I created a website and a blog. Now, there's two things I did there that are key for your listeners. One, the website I created. Now, I happen to have technical skills, so I knew how to create a website that looked like my business was much bigger than it was. So that's the thing. Perception is everything. If I wouldn't have had the technical skills I would have, then I would have made a goal to work my side gig until I developed enough money to hire a professional to create me a website that looked like my business was making six figures at least, if not seven. Because on the web, perception is everything. You could you can get a website for, $500 to $1,000 that looks like your business is making six figures. People who come to your site don't know how much money you're making, but if it looks like you're making big money, then they will patronize your business. The second thing I did, and again, the key point I said in there was hire a professional to do it. Don't try and do it yourself. I'm not knocking people who try free things like Wix and Weebly and stuff like that. If you do what you got to do to get started. But the point is, you're good at what you do. So if you're good at fashion or whatever is your expertise, you're not good at websites. So get to the point where you let a professional do that while you work on what you're good at. Secondly, is my blog. I started writing blogs about key areas that I knew people wanted to have questions about, whether it be how to advance your ministry or organization on social media. How can you stream online for free so people can watch you online? How do you build a website for under $500? Stuff like that. The key questions I knew people were asking, I started to write blogs on those. And people were searching for these questions on Google, and my information started coming up. And then, of course, I had to get out on social media, start pushing these blogs or different things that I was creating, and letting people know, hey, I'm a new guy out here. My name is Jason. I have this thing called the iChurch Method. And, I'm on social media and I want to talk to you. I have some information that will provide value to your life. And I'm giving it away for free now because I just want your attention. When I get my product, though, then I'm going to need your money.
Right.
That's a good tactic.
Mm-hmm.
So did you have to, with the iChurch Method, did you have to go to your clients to find them and pitch them, or did they come to you?
Actually, I had a leg up in that working with the ministry that I work with, they have conferences every year. So the way I was able to gauge, would this be a good idea or not? Because I had the whole strategy in my head. I just didn't know if it would work. I went to a conference and I was teaching a session on social media, and it turned into a session on all things digital, websites and all kinds of stuff. But I looked at all the questions they were asking, and I basically said, okay, guys, if I wrote a book, how many of you guys would buy it? And, you see the hands go up, and then you kind of get an idea of how much of a need is for what the information that you have, because they wanted to just ask me questions all day. about how they could, the solutions that I had already done for the company I worked for, how can they achieve that? And I answered the questions all day. Here, free information. I'll give it all to you. Pour out as much information as I can because I know I'm good at what I do. And once I did that, then I realized that I could write this book and sell it at these different conferences that I already had access to. Now, what I would tell somebody who says, okay, well, I don't work for TD Jakes Ministry, I don't have an organization that does conferences. There are a lot of different opportunities to speak at different locations, and you might have to start off for free because you're not established yet, but just go talk about what it is that you do well and why would people want to know that. That helps establish you as more than just a business owner. You're now a business owner and an expert. Then you translate that over: business owner, expert, author, and then you just keep adding more titles to how well you are in your particular field. And that's what makes people come patronize you, because they know when they come to you, they're not just getting a product and then moving on. They're getting an expert, someone who gives them quality, someone who will give them information, and it's just so much more that you're adding to their lives than just that particular transaction.
Mm-hmm. And, you mentioned something earlier just about websites, and I just want to tell our listeners too, when you do go with something like Wix or something like that, common mistakes I see is people pick a template that really doesn't go with their brand. They'll leave the social networking icons up, and when you click on it, it just clicks back to the Wix website. Mm-hmm. So it's just want to remind people to take the time. If you can't afford a professional to do it, take the time to make it look as professional as possible. Check your links, make sure you have good quality photos. Really try to make it look like it's a big company, like you were saying. But I also had a question for you. Did you have any SEO tips for the people out there for their website? Because you mentioned how when people started doing searches, your website came up. Was that kind of a little bit of luck, or did you do something special in order, use certain keywords or phrases or what have you in order for Google to really put you, rank you number 1, 2, 3, or what have you?
Oh, yeah. I actually, again, this is what I do as a job. So I kind of knew some of the tricks and tips, which, of course, I'd love to share. Some of the things that I looked at is here's a good key example that I was able to find out what people were asking or what questions. I would start searching in Google and I would start typing in a question like, how can I stream online? And then you would see for free, or, Google has auto suggest or autocomplete. That's what it's called. And they give you the questions that people are searching for, top 4 or 5 questions. And you just take those phrases, find one that fits your business, and you write something about that because you already know people are looking for it because Google auto-completed the line you were typing in. That's letting Google help you figure out what people are looking for. Also, and when you figure that out, then you write the blog for it and just put the blog up, and then you have to go find something else to write about. Again, keep the content coming. I was writing 2 blogs a week, and I think I might increase it to 3 blogs a week because I just wanted to just keep pouring out all this information. Now, here's the key thing about that, which that helped with my SEO, but here's the even better part. When it helped my SEO, because I was answering questions that I saw people were looking for, and of course sprinkling in keywords that I also saw that people were looking for based on using Google's keyword tool, because they can tell you which keywords people are looking for and for which ones are doing the best. Then I took those blogs, and when I started to put my book together, I saw that I had already written a whole bunch of content about a whole variety of topics that was in my blogs. So all I had to do was take these blogs and start formatting that pre-written content into a book format. So the thing is, you don't have to sit down and take, months to write a whole new book. You've been writing all along. You're just formatting it in a tangible paperback format for people to buy and for you to say, hey, I'm an author as well as a blogger, as well as a business owner, as well as a fashionista. It's all about how many different areas can you add value to people's lives.
Now, did you self-publish?
Yes. Now that's the thing. Let's talk about that.
Please, we are very interested in that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, here's my thing. I did we all know the story, and if we don't, you say real quick, but you know the story of like Jay-Z, where Jay-Z was trying to get a deal and nobody gave him a deal, so him and Dame created Rockefeller Records. And in turn, they got a distribution deal with Def Jam. Okay, so keep that story in mind. For me, I started writing my book, and I thought about, okay, let's go get a book deal. So I started shopping the concept around, the proposal around to different organizations. Nobody wanted it. So I'm like, okay, cool. All I got to do is do a couple Google searches, figure out how to publish on my own, because the one thing I knew was I wasn't trying to get in bookstores. I didn't need to be in bookstores. I saw Amazon was more effective for me. So how can I get on Amazon for free? Well, that's when I saw a website called CreateSpace.com. They can help you get on Amazon for free. So I used them and went to their site, and they gave me templates for how to do my book covers, which I went and got a professional to do my book cover, because the first book I wrote back in 2004 or 5 or whatever, I did my own book cover. And one of my good friends told me the book cover was terrible. I appreciate that. He told me, he's like, man, you need to go find you a professional because your book cover is terrible. Now, your book content is awesome because you're smart. Your book cover is terrible because you try to do it yourself. So, but I went and published myself. And then I also went to, I got my own ISBN so that I own the book. I went and got it copywritten, which is, it was $30 on copyright.gov. So I researched how to get it copywritten. And once I got all that, I loaded that all up in the CreateSpace, formatted it correctly. And within 3 days, I was on Amazon, and I had an ebook on Kindle. So that was my whole process. And now, and then, of course, I was selling it through Amazon and all that good stuff. And if I wanted to take some to a conference with me, then I would just order them. Books would be like $2 a copy. I'd order about, 50 or 60 of them and sell them for $10 or $15 or what have you. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing that really helped me out, that I'm at the point now. So I published my first iChurch book back in 2012. 2013, I followed it up with another iChurch and a social media book. Now I got another iChurch and social media book coming out at the end of this month. And now I'm in negotiations with book publishers to do distribution deals. I don't want to give them my masters now. I don't want them to own my books. So I don't want to do a publishing deal anymore. I only want to do distribution deals. I can write the books, get them printed up and all that stuff. I can do all that stuff on my own now, get my own covers created and all that. All I need you to do is distribute it to your different channels that you have. And that's to me, I watched Diddy do that with Bad Boy and the distribution deal he had, and Jay-Z and Rockefeller do that with Def Jam. Now that's the model that I followed. So yes, you can self-publish for free. You just need to pay for a professional editor with your book, and also a professional book cover person to design the book cover, and then you can publish the book for free and get it on Amazon. Because if all these major publishers that we know, that we see out here, whether it be John Gresham, Stephen King, Robert Kiyosaki, and all these different people, they're on Amazon. So that's where you need to be, where the big boys are at.
Yeah, because I remember years ago, and they're still out here, and people still use them, and I think they're still great. Blurb and Lulu.com. Mm-hmm. But in the last several years, yeah, it's like Amazon is where you want to be. And I've seen a lot of articles lately on that CreateSpace. I think that's, the number one choice right now. Like if you want exposure and you want to make money, that's where you go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then for me, when I tell people, the book is not the end all. Like once you get a book, you're making a lot of money off of book sales. Book sales to me are great. And of course, I make a much larger cut because I don't have a book deal, or I'm not splitting my money with anybody. It's my money. But the book is just like the gateway to get to the rest of the products and services that I have to offer. And so to me, the book is like, for lack of a better term, the gateway drug. Once I get you into my sales funnel using the book, then I got a whole bunch of other stuff I'm trying to get to you, which may be the online school. Do you want me to come speak at your conference? Do you want consulting? Do you want some of my higher products, which may be bundles or DVDs or actual online trainings I have? I have a whole bunch of stuff. The book is just to get you in the door, because most people associate a book with some type of expertise, especially if the book looks professional before they open it. So if they see that, then now we can talk about all these other high-end services that I'm offering for this $10 book that got your attention. Or I even give the book away free a lot of times because it costs me $2. I give it away for free and upsell you on something else.
And then, so I would say, just from hearing you, like teaching, speaking, and consulting it sounds like are where you get most of your revenue. And I think all three of those would work for boutique owners too, because people are always looking for how to open a boutique or how to do this and that. So I can see them adding that to their business. So they might do the fashion trucks on weekends, but teach people during the week how to do it, or consult like up and coming fashion trucks and help them get more exposure and learn how to like find events or what have you. But it sounds like those three areas are key if you want like multiple streams of revenue.
Exactly. And then you got to look at, for the boutique owners, how can you do your boutique on a higher level? Can you partner with some type of corporation or something to take your boutique to another level? Because like for me, I'm currently a spokesperson for AT&T, Faith and Technology Initiative. So me partnering with AT&T, but I was just doing what I normally do, which was teach church and technology. They wanted to get behind that because they wanted to tap into that particular area, and they needed a way to get in, which is through church and technology. But your boutique owners and your listeners, how can you partner with a large organization or corporation that can help take your business to another level, because they already have maybe a large platform and a large audience with them? So how can you position yourself to where they will come looking for you? Because if you go looking for them, you might get turned down. Hey, I want to partner with you on this particular thing. And they're like, well, what benefit is it to us? But you got to think about how can I make myself so valuable that they'll come looking for me? Because I didn't go looking for AT&T. They came and found me. But I made myself valuable enough that if they get behind what I'm doing, there's benefit in it for them. That's how you got to think about this.
Jason, I need you to be my life coach.
I know it's mentoring in your repertoire, right?
Yeah. Well, and that actually is something I just started. Well, not life coaching. No, I don't do that. But mentoring. My mentor, who's been mentoring me for about 10 years, he came across a guy who's about 23 from the Wild Hunters in Chicago. And, just young guy. And he told me, he was like, man, you're at the point now where you need to pour into somebody else coming up. And so, yeah, you probably once or twice a week, I reach out to the brother, or I text him a lot. And I just let him know, hey, man, I'm rooting for you. I got your back. I'm supporting you. And when he calls me, then we talk about, he might say, hey, I'm struggling with my book or something. And I'll tell him, hey, look, just, don't try and write 10 chapters. Let's get 3, 4, or 5 chapters out for this first book, and we'll work up to that. But you give them direction and say, look, man, I'm telling you, I know how the story turns out for you. Plus, you could be better than where I'm at, because I got started at 30. You're 23. So you're already ahead of me. You got to encourage them. So, yeah, I have realized that you have to pour back into people what's been poured into you, so that you can help your legacy grow.
So, Jason, which social media platforms work best for your business?
For my particular business, the best ones now are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, and then close right after that, and I'll tell you why for each one, LinkedIn and Snapchat is actually up and coming. Now, I'm not using Pinterest as much, but I will be getting there. So the platforms that I use all the time, first, for Facebook. I mean, there's 1.3 billion people there. I use Facebook, not so much as I don't use it for like the free aspect of it. I actually use it for the paid aspects of it, to push my videos on there, promote whether my graphics or whatever. But again, my whole social media strategy is how I have to tell my story visually, videos, photos, graphics, etc. That's how people really connect with me, so I could educate them as telling in a visual manner, because that's where social media is going. Twitter is where I actually talk. And the thing I like about Twitter is I can communicate with people one-to-one or one-to-many. So whether it's one-to-many, where I'm saying, hey, guys, I'm going to be speaking at this conference, and I just blast it out to everybody. Whoever sees it, sees it. Or if somebody asks me, specific questions. Hey, my organization needs help here. Can you help me out? And I actually, talk to people and answer their questions. A lot of times at conferences, people are surprised that once, I get done speaking to them or talking on stage, then if they hit me up on Twitter, I actually respond. And I say, no, I'm not that famous yet where can't respond to you. I actually do talk to people on Twitter. And Instagram is up and coming. I think they're about 300 million now. And that, of course, 15-second videos, photos. I mean, that just speaks for itself. But that is a good thing for me because usually when I have my videos, if I can teach people in 15-second clips of a nice hot quote or something, that really resonates with people. And so that seems to get a lot of traction. And then, of course, YouTube, my YouTube videos, usually 2 or 3 minutes long of me talking about a particular topic. Those have been probably the way people have connected with me the most because I'm educating them. So that seems to be the best way of connecting with people because they realize I actually know what I'm talking about. And then from there, they're like, oh, my goodness, he has a book. Oh, he has an online school. Oh, he has this, he has that. He has all this stuff going on. And then when they finally connect with me, they're like, man, I've been following all your stuff. And so I just want to ask you one question. And I'm like, no, I'm not rushing. Hey, let's talk. So, whatever you want to talk about, I can help you out. But that's the type of social media presence I have. And then now with Snapchat, I use that to develop an audience and but that's more so stuff like Snapchat and seems like people just want to get access to, my everyday life. Like, what is it like to go work for TD Jakes Ministries and what do you do all day and, stuff like that. How do you prepare for a big conference or stuff like that? And so I just give them access to me and my family and stuff that I do for fun, especially my family, because not so much my kids, but me and my wife met online. So because me and my wife met on social media, it's really integrated into our actual existence.
Have you ever used the live broadcast on Twitter?
Periscope. Yes, I've used Periscope quite a bit. Love it.
See, that's true.
Now, Nashay, she keeps trying to get me to use Twitter. I hate Twitter. Like, I guess I just don't understand it. So I refuse to, to even try.
Well, that's the thing. Twitter, to me, in my opinion, won't make sense to you until you have it adds some type of value to what you're doing. Like now, if I talk to you, it's on Facebook. So I know that with Facebook, I've seen you stay connected with a lot of the people that we came up with from college and so on. So that's the value it adds to it. And all of us can spy on each other's lives. We pretty much know how each of us are doing, which is
and
good.
I know the socks of Jason.
Oh, absolutely. My socks are amazing. We're going to talk about that too, because I have a conference coming up with TD Jakes, and in the video we were filming, I talk about, I'm really serious, and I'm talking about a particular, I'm talking about my sessions I'm going to teach. It's about social media, internet church, websites, and all this stuff. So I'm talking real serious, right? So people are, they're listening to the video, and I think it comes out next Friday. And so at the end of the video, they asked me, is there anything else you want to talk about? And so I'm joking. I was like, yeah, let's talk about, my socks. I mean, you guys didn't show my socks not one time in this video. So I didn't know they were recording that. So in the video, when it finally got done, you see me talking serious for about a minute. And then they just cut away to me talking about my socks for 10 seconds. Then they go right back into the video like nothing happened. And I'm laughing at this. I'm like, so everybody won't understand my socks. Y'all still didn't even show them. But anyway, it's but the people who know me will understand what that means because they know I talk about my socks every day. So anyhow, that's what it is. So that's what I think social media for me is a teaching platform. It's a platform for me to talk about or give people a glimpse into my everyday life, as well as just actually communicate with people who, as I'm finding out now, seem to follow a lot of stuff that I do.
And I see your YouTube videos. You have tons of views. Any tips for creating useful videos and getting a lot of people to actually see it? Is it just something that happened organically over time?
Yeah, mine was over time. I didn't have anything that was I do have actual tips that I use, use certain tags that are key to what your video is about and that people are searching for. Make sure you have in the title a really catchy title for people to find your video. Then I actually link to my videos from my website. I put my videos out on different social media channels. Like I cross promote on all kinds of platforms. So that's what it is. But I think it's just the content in those 2 or 3 minutes in these videos. I'm giving you the same quality content that I would give you at a conference that you paid $500 for, and people get that for free. And I think that's what really drives people to look at it. And plus, it's not long enough for me to lose you. You know, people attention span is not that long. So by the time I hit you with the nice intro that actually holds your attention, like, wow, this looks professional. Then I start talking, like, okay, you know what he's talking about. And then by the time you're like, okay, all right, my attention span's failing, I'm like, all right, cool, wrap it up, we're done.
Right. And also because you have like your regular 9 to 5 and then you have, your side business, which has multiple aspects to it. How do you keep up with all these social networking sites?
Well, the thing is, I never disconnect again. So if, starting probably back before I met my wife in 2003, so probably about 2002, when I first started talking about getting laid off, I really started, when I started rebuilding myself, I had to do it in the manner that I could. And the only way I stayed connected, really learning stuff, was the internet. So like I didn't have a job, so I spent all day on the computer. And so if I wanted to, unless I went to Borders to read books because it was free to read there, I was reading stuff online. And so as time progressed, I continued to I'm on the computer all the time, all day long. If I'm not on the computer, I'm on my iPhone. I'm not on my iPhone. When my Apple Watch comes out later on this month, I'm going to be on my Apple Watch. So, but the thing is, instead of, a lot of people talk about, do you ever disconnect? You need to disconnect. It's like, no, I don't necessarily need to disconnect because I like the information, but the people I need to connect with in the real world connect with me in the online world. So like if my wife needs me and she can't get my attention, she'll hit me up on Facebook and we might be next to each other on the couch, but she'll say, hey, I need you to come, I need you to wash the dishes. So that's the thing. For me, with social media and all the information that I push out on social media, I use a couple softwares like Buffer and Hootsuite to schedule stuff out. So it looks like I'm always pushing stuff out. But I'm always online. I'm always reading blogs. I'm always looking for what's new and what's next. But it's so integrated into my everyday patterns and my everyday schedule that it's not like I'm stopping everything because I got to get on the internet and social media and Facebook and talk to people now. It's just what I do.
Do you have any tips or advice for aspiring small business owners?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing that I would say for aspiring business owners is you have to look at how does your business look offline, and online. For me, since my main business is always online, I had to make my business appear as successful as possible in the online space. So again, I always talk about perception is everything. For I've seen for some boutique owners, I've seen them, they have amazing boutiques and I've walked in and the boutique was amazing. But if 75% of new visitors are checking your business out online before they step foot into the door, then your online boutique has to look like it's amazing to get people in the door. And so that's the thing. The lines are being blurred between online and offline, especially when you look at if you want your business to last. Right now, we have our patrons that are in certain demographics, and the ones that make the most money are usually, whether they be older or what have you, or adults. But if you want your business to last any amount of time, you're going to have to eventually reach the younger generation, millennials, Generation C, always connected, and the digital natives and so on. And if you look at kids these days who can use iPads at 18 months, and this is the oldest technology they're going to see, these are the Betamax, for your business to last, you have to be in that digital space, because by the time they come patronize your business, there's no way that they're going to even understand how your online business doesn't look as well as your offline business. Actually, they'll never step foot in the door, because when they look at you online, they'll say, oh, they must be closed because this is terrible. And that's just what it is. So I always tell business owners, you have to look at how your business looks to a person who doesn't know you and has no idea who you are, if you can see your business from their perspective, then you'll understand how to position your business as, something worthwhile. Secondly, you have to innovate your business and innovate yourself. There are 1,000 other boutique owners out there that may or may not do exactly what you do, but to the average consumer, they're just another boutique owner. So you have to set yourself apart. So the way that you do that is you have to innovate yourself to know, if I'm a boutique owner, what's next in my boutique or my industry? What's coming down the line that can set me apart so that I'm already ahead of the curve to get more customers into my boutique? What type of experience am I giving them that's so innovative they couldn't get anywhere else? And that's how you start to set yourself apart, as well as anytime your people are patronizing you and they're asking you questions about whatever's new or a particular product or a particular service, you know it so well that they could ask you anything about anything and you have an answer that just like blows their mind. And that's what I'm saying. You have to be that good to the point where there are I was talking about conferences and organizations and speaking engagements where you can go to these speaking engagements and talk about your area of expertise so well that people will come say, hey, can I have your card? Because I need to come to your boutique today after what I just heard you say on stage. That's how you got to pull people in. Because right now, your words are so important that you have to look at, you have 10 seconds to say something amazing to this person and get their attention before the 25 million other things that go on in their life start to seep in and take their attention away from you. That's how you have to look at it. And that's the type of business owner you need to be, and run your business professionally so that on the outside, it looks like your business is run, very well. Here's a good example. You have a website, myboutique.com, and you tell somebody, hey, you give them a card, and on the card is a Gmail address. It's like, no. It should be your name at myboutique.com. That's what professional corporations do. They have emails at that domain. Stuff like that. Pay attention to the details like Disney and Apple do.
So we are now entering the lightning round. Do you have a favorite podcast or blog? If so, what is it?
Oh, wow. My favorite blog is TechCrunch. Yep.
Ooh, good one.
Okay. What do you like to do in your free time to wind down or de-stress from work?
Basketball or Grand Theft Auto 5 Xbox One.
Wow.
That was very specific.
Mm-hmm.
And I already know the answer to this next question, but for the audience, just humor me. Android or iPhone? And what's your favorite app?
Okay, I'm clutching my pearls at the fact you even asked me this. It's so disrespectful that you.
I know. That's why I said I already know the answer, and I apologize in advance.
Okay, well, Apple all day, every day, and my favorite app. Wow. Let me see. I'm looking at my phone right now. What is my favorite app that I use the most? Actually, it would have to be the weather app. That is my favorite app. I'm a weather fanatic. I watch the Weather Channel like it actually has real shows. I'm telling you, I'd be like, oh, warm front. Oh my God, cold front, got it. Oh my goodness. Like Scandal. Like, no cold front. No, you didn't.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Now, do you have, I can't think of the name of it, but do you have that app where it can predict that it's about to rain in your area within minutes before the rain comes?
No, I heard about that app and I didn't believe it would work, so I didn't download it.
Okay. Because I'm like, you have to be a true weather nerd to like download that app. I'm like, I don't think I need to know it's coming down to the minute.
Yeah, I might get it though. If I believe in it, I will get it. But I'm not a believer yet. I've been so let down by weathermen in the past that I'm scorned. So I don't want the app to let me down either.
And Nashay, I thought you were an Apple snob. Jason, he tops you, like seriously.
I know. I feel like we got to go toe to toe now. Like, how many Apple products do you have? Like,
I mean, I'm just saying. I all of them. Okay.
Me too.
Shoot.
I know.
Good, my goodness. Forgive her, Steve. She has no idea what she does. Oh my God.
My life is Apple. If I'm not on the phone, I'm on the tablet. If I'm not on the tablet, I'm on the computer. But you do have me beat because I can't get with the watch. I think that's too much.
Oh my goodness. I was about to throw my computer and run a lap around the house. You can't get with the Apple Watch. Did I say clutch my pearls already?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You can't get with the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch is going to be the best watch ever made until the next Apple Watch comes out next year.
So, oh my God. Okay, so are you gonna still have your phone on you, or are you gonna use just the watch?
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna have my phone on me as well. The watch actually communicates with the phone, so I need all of that to work together. But yeah, I have my watch and my phone.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, our final question for you is, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? So think of it as, money's no object. You can move anywhere. You could do anything you want. And what would that be?
Wow. If I could do anything, wow, that is a great question. And I knew I would not fail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If I could do anything I want to do and I knew I couldn't fail, I would want to be, simple. If I could do anything I want to do and not fail, I play the lotto. Wait for a big pot and I play the lotto because I know I would win.
Nice.
Okay.
But here's the wait.
What?
Yeah. You expected me to say, I want to go to the moon because I want to overachieve and I would try and get to the stars. But no, the moon is where I see myself and plant my. No.
So you just want a quick pick.
Right.
I mean, you said I'm a winner.
You have the millions and millions of dollars, then you're going to be bored. What are you going to do? You're not going to want to work because you have all this money, So, I mean,
then I would swim in the money like Scrooge McDuck. I mean, that's what I would do. So,
but you know what? He's giving real life answers. I got to give it to him. He's not saying, "Oh, I'm going to go and try to cure cancer or feed the homeless." So he's being real.
Yeah,
he's going to buy a quick pick.
I think our silence after your answer was golden because we were expecting something profound, But you know
right,
what?
Because after all the other stuff, all the great advice he's been giving, he's gonna go buy a quick pick.
But you know what? Hey, when you win the lotto, I just need like half a meal. That's all. You don't really know me, I know, but
that's the thing. Everybody and all your listeners are they're gonna when you ask that question. They're going to listen like, oh my goodness, I know he's going to say something life-changing. This is like the icing on the cake. And then when I say, go play the lotto, they're going to be like, whoa. I listened to this dude all this time for this? Yep, you sure did. Play the lotto. That's what I did. Nobody plays the lotto and knows that they're going to win. But I do because I cannot lose according to what the question you just laid out. Yep.
Wow.
He has a point.
Wow, Okay.
He has a point.
We're gonna roll with it.
You have broken our question.
Right.
We can no longer use this question.
Hey, just be prepared for all kinds of answers now. But my goal was to give y'all an answer that was so different that y'all would just stop and be like, y'all would question the whole interview based on my answer. And
yeah, we can't use this interview in the show. We have scrap it.
Nice.
See? Goal achieved.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you can tell our listeners where they can find you, any websites or social networking sites you want to mention, and also if you have any speaking engagements or conferences or classes you want to promote, please let them know where to find you.
To connect with me on social media, whether it be Twitter at Jason Caston, Instagram at Jason Caston. Those will probably be the best ones. In May, I will be in Orlando at the Pastors and Leadership Conference teaching the stuff I just talked about. May 1st and 2nd, May 21st through 23rd, I'll be in Atlanta at a pastors conference teaching there. Another way to connect with me, actually, here's the best way. All your listeners, I would like you to come out to MegaFest in Dallas, August 19th through the 23rd. It will be a 4-day extravaganza for faith, entertainment, technology, empowerment, all kinds of different sessions. I'm not sure which ones I'm teaching. I believe it'll be digital technology sessions there, but I would like everybody to join me there. And if you need more information, connect with me on Twitter or Instagram at Jason Caston, as I just previously said.
Perfect.
Right.
Well, thanks again for agreeing to be on our show.
Yeah,
It was a pleasure.
Your tips will be invaluable.
Absolutely.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad I gave you quite a bit of knowledge before I just blew your mind at the end. That's what
You are hilarious.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you both, Nashay and Estrell, for considering me. And of course, Estrell, since we go way back, it is a pleasure to talk to you again. And Nashay, it's a pleasure to talk to you for the first time.
Yeah, no, this has been great. I think this will be really inspirational for everyone who hears it. And it'll just, I don't know, give them what they need to get going. So, no, this is perfect. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All righty.
Wow, that was fun. I can't believe that last comment. He totally did break our question.
Yeah, he did. Like, I kind of want to go buy a lottery ticket right now, just to see what happens.
Good luck with that. That would be $1 wasted. Put that in the savings account.
Yeah, but that whole last, supposed lightning round was hilarious. The entire thing.
It was. But yeah, really enjoyed having him on. I hope you guys found his tips very useful.
What the one thing that really stood out to me is how he self-published all of his books. Like, I even went to Amazon and there are tons of books he has for sale. And I think that the whole concept of once you write a book, it establishes you as an authority or expert in that particular field. That can apply to anyone across the board.
Yeah,
mobile boutique owners. I mean, even us.
Well, yeah. Well, we guys hope you enjoyed this. Please be sure to leave comments on his page. And remember, you could go to startafashiontruck.com. In the search, just type in Jason. His show notes will come right up. And please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear what you thought of this episode.
Right. And don't forget to go to iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, rate us, and please leave a review. We'd love to know your thoughts.
Absolutely. And then the directory, of course, is located on findafashiontruck.com. You can catch us on almost all social media accounts. For IG and Twitter, where we are FFT_official_. Facebook, just type in Find a Fashion Truck, and the same with Pinterest. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care.
Toodles.